It was never going to be you. It was never going to
How
be
I
you. So for
feel
you to be so
3
delusional
rounds of
and crazy
interviews
like
and being
that,
rejected
that is
after the final round. Yeah.
Please, I'm a
Rejected. Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Manhood entitled Modern Women Being Rejected by Big Major Companies. Please take a subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you not getting that job could have had absolutely nothing to do with you.
Yep.
They could have hired internally. They could have eradicated the position. They could have run out of money. So, don't be so hard on yourself.
In 2020, I got rejected from Microsoft
Sometimes.
after going through all the rounds of interviews for their financial analyst rotational program. I was really sure I aced that interview. I thought that the 4 rounds of interviews went amazing, and then I got rejected the next day. I was really sad. I thought I did everything well, and then to receive the rejection the next day was really shocking for me. However, I learned a few things that actually helped me land my job in tech at Google 2 months after. Number 1, always show confidence. Number 2, have a lot of energy. Number 3, learn how to articulate your story well. And number 4, understand how your experiences align with the job that they are requesting. And if you got rejected recently, just know that it might not be your fault. There might be other candidates that might have a little bit more of what they're looking for. Or
Why do they have to make videos trying to explain it's not your fault, it's not this, why does it matter? Just move on. It's you did 2-3 interviews and you didn't make it. Go do 2-3 more interviews. It's not that big of a fucking deal. Why are you coming on video, making videos, trying to tell everybody it's not your fault? It's not your fault. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. You didn't get the job. That's all that matters. Go fucking somewhere else and do it.
there might be the case that they're not even hiring for it anymore. So there might be things that you don't control. Just try to focus on what you can control as a job seeker and go after your dream job.
You develop a sense of entitlement
Dream job.
when you are given what you want, rather than earning what you want. You develop a sense of entitlement by being told you are better than others just because you are you. You'll develop this attitude if this goes on for long enough, or from an early age. This is the problem with modern women. You didn't get the job because you weren't good enough. Making videos of how you were rejected changes nothing. Women think they're entitled to all the good things of life because they're women. It's called NPD, isn't it? Narcissistic personality disorder. Women tend to have a great deal more of it than men, my perspective. The 3 worst inventions for women are magazines, cameras, and Facebook, which seem to feed their insecurities about their looks and
I guess
status.
so. Those are the 3 major
I couldn't
things.
give a fuck about what people thought of me. But my high school sweetheart cared about how everyone liked her, while at the same time not caring what I think of her. Logic. Women only hang around to sponge off the male. The second they realize they can't get anything more, they leave for the next male victim. Then
True.
they scream, "Poor me. The last guy didn't give me this or that." Then it happens again with the next guy, and then the next guy. The problem is always the guy in their view, when the only common denominator is themselves.
In this case, it's the company, right? It's always the company's fault. They don't want to hire you. Oh, because they did something shady or whatever it is. Sometimes you're just not a good fit.
I find it hilarious. Third-wave feminism has totally brainwashed them into thinking they're perpetual victims just for being born women.
Yep.
And now they think society owes them something for oppressing them.
Yep.
And if you even dare to disagree with their pro-feminist vibe, you're automatically cancelled. It is
Misogyny.
so politically incorrect and insensitive, it's ridiculous. Thanks to all this wokeness and cancel culture, they think it's so empowering and brave to whine and complain about every little thing they don't like in society, and they always blame the patriarchy for everything. It is so annoying how they make everything the patriarchy's fault. Seriously, these entitled girls get all this special treatment from both guys and girls. The guys are so thirsty for any female attention that they'll simp and turn into these leftist bootlickers just for a tiny bit of approval.
True.
And the girls? They're all like, men are the oppressors, the enemy, potential rapists, and stuff. So every random dude they meet is approach with caution. But with other girls, it's all compassion, empathy, and friendliness. What the actual heck? Can they not see how messed up that is? God forbid you dare criticize a woman, or even say anything slightly negative about the female gender. The woke crowd is quick to scream, misogyny! Doesn't matter if it's legit or not. People and media outlets are straight up scared to say anything remotely critical about women or feminism. They're all afraid of getting mobbed by these constant online feminists who'll just shout them down and call for them.
I'm not even scared of being mobbed by online feminists. I'm scared of like the major companies shutting me down because they are pushing that agenda. They want that agenda out there. That's the problem that we have. But then these companies aren't willing to hire these women either. So these companies are more hypocritical than anything.
Them to be cancelled for not towing the line of all women are wonderful. So basically, Western women are growing up in this environment where they're constantly told they're victims of the patriarchy just for being women. But at the same time, they're also fed this idea that they're the superior gender because they're not like those no-good men who apparently do all the oppressing and violence in the world. Throw in the lack of criticism towards women and feminism in today's mainstream media and politically correct world, and you've got this echo chamber where even average or below average women are told they deserve nothing but the best. They're taught that their behavior or unrealistic expectations aren't the problem. It's all the men around them and society enabling these men. And if they happen to come across a man who has any standards for who he wants to date or commit to long term, he's labeled as controlling and abusive, and the advice is to just find someone else. But if a woman does the same thing and has high expectations for her partner, well, she's just setting boundaries and knowing her worth. These modern women out here are so...
And it usually only happens after they're like 35, 40. The wall smacks them right in the face.
Clueless and hypocritical. It's insane. They act all entitled and expect everything to go their way. But they are not even willing to look at themselves and admit their own faults. They think men are scared of strong women, but no. Strong women just have that straight-up nasty attitude that turns people off. And then they keep falling for the wrong dudes over and over again. But instead of reflecting on why they are attracted to those losers, they turn into bitter feminists. Like seriously, they blame all men and the whole patriarchy for their dating failures, when they should be doing some self-reflection. The ones who actually grow up and mature in life are the ones who learn how to adapt and compromise. But these Western women think they deserve the world without putting in any effort. They sit around, whining and expecting everyone else to change for them. It's just straight-up entitlement and delusion. I'm telling you, if they want to succeed, they need to learn some damn life skills
that they
and
do.
Open their eyes to reality. But no, they'd rather play the victim and point fingers. It's frustrating as hell. Back to the topic of women and jobs. Personally, I believe life was better when women didn't work. Mums were able to stay at home with the children.
I would somewhat disagree. I would say yes, it probably would be better, but there's going to be women that don't want families. There's going to be women that are still be useful in the workforce. I don't think all women should be stay-at-home mothers. If they choose not to be, it's fine. I don't have an issue with that. It's the problem that we're pushing them to not be stay-at-home mothers or to be mothers in general. That's what I have a big issue with.
Women actually raised the children instead of the babysitter. Life was simpler and better. Here's a business aspect of women joining the workforce. This doubles the workforce. It is an overstimulation of labor, and it affects the cost of labor. The cost of labor is a vital part of capitalism. You could argue that it stagnated wages by having a glut of workers. That's all for today on Manhood. Don't forget...
Shout outs to manhood. I agree. If women actually, went back into the home and that was their main priority, there'd be a lot less women in the workforce, and the men in the workforce would actually be able to provide, the salaries and the money that is needed to, take care of a family. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.